Hi guys, welcome back to Fata Morgana. Today we are going to be looking into more of Michel's past, and when we say Michel, yeah, this is how it's spelt, which is really quite interesting. And obviously everything is completely unfolding with Michel's character. We're getting a lot that's unfolding about all of the mysteries that have arisen within his personality. So I suppose we've seen Michel not really being satisfied with the fact that she is a girl, but also I suppose quite on the contrary, we're also seeing her total disgust for other men around her, and also I suppose we're seeing an increase in just her family falling apart because of the fact that she is not being the ideal woman. Oh my god! So I want to firstly reread this scene between I don't know, like Amy. I so wish it was a Japanese name. Let's just say Amy and George's. Yeah, I'll just say it like that. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, and I mean, this is the worst thing. After this scene, this really quite unpleasant scene where Michel is literally sexually harassed by this person. Yeah, she's very, very stressed. Of course she is. She's just a target for all of this, especially because of the fact that she's really quite weak. Which is sick, but it's true. Yeah, but that is interesting. I mean, you can definitely tell, I suppose she only wants to make a good impression to the person that she likes, let's be honest here. I mean, obviously it will never go anywhere, but Michel can't help but feeling emotions like that towards Amy. Yeah, and isn't it really quite funny to think about with George's just the lack of understanding that he actually has for her emotions? But what I find really interesting about this is it kind of feels like this is a societal norm at the time, because you're going to really, really discriminate women and you're going to make it so that they just feel like they have to live this certain path. I mean, obviously the same goes with men as well, but like, they never really have this understanding for just what these people are truly going through. And I feel like, I mean, I'd hope in more modern societies now understanding like that has increased, but obviously it wasn't at a point where that understanding was too popular in places like this. But yeah, he really doesn't understand how her mind works. Yeah, my god, yeah. Yeah, somebody you can actually relate to as well. Yeah. Yeah, reasonable. True. How do you mean tenacious? Alright, so I'm getting Yeah, so I suppose somebody who is really quite determined and wants to have a firm grip on something. Yeah. And I do actually find that really quite interesting that Amy is saying that even though Michel is somebody who is quite strong, obviously, not feeling too scared, let's be honest, Michel's just putting on a brave face. I mean, well, no. I suppose Michel, it was a really weird situation because Michel kind of blanked out while it was happening. But, yeah, I mean, obviously, he wasn't the most scared while it was going on. He was more angry at himself. Sorry, at herself even. I'm so not used to that. But anyway, yeah, angry rather than scared. But obviously you still won't be able to forget it even though you weren't scared. Yeah, isn't it ironic? Yeah, the person who actually understands says that. Yeah, but that is interesting. You just kind of increase how much you were talking about your weakness just so that you can hear her comfort you and you can hear her reassure you. Yeah, you can definitely tell that Michel has a thing for her. Oh my god, a girl having a thing for another girl? What the fuck? Absolutely forbidden in these times. Like, seriously. This is not going to go down well if anybody realises this. Oh, shit. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, totally, yeah. Yeah, fair enough. That's the worst thing. It's just a thing that you really can't help but feel, and obviously as a result of that, well, as a result of being unable to help feeling these things, they're just going to get worse and worse because it's not like you can talk about this to her. So it's just going to be bottled up more and more, and it's going to be harder for Michel. And Amy's probably trying to do this because she wants Michel to improve in terms of how she is living her life. And when I say that, I mean just have a better life and be able to enjoy herself more. But at the same time, it might have completely the opposite effect. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. She is very, very kind. And I mean, I get that, well, George's is a bit of a pushover, but at the same time, at least he's met somebody who's really nice. Yeah, reasonable. Yeah, true. Michel is really bright, I agree. No, no, that's such a bad mindset. Oh god, that's not a very good thing to bring up. Like the embroidery patterns is what I'm mentioning at the moment. Yeah, just such a lack of interest. It was not what I was expecting at all. Yep. Yeah. It shouldn't, but it does. Yeah, she doesn't have anything to kind of overthrow that with. Oh god, you can definitely tell that no, I think what's happened is the mother has actually asked her to be here. Maybe she's only here because it has been requested by the mother, just because of the fact that the mother wants someone that Michel respects and will listen to be able to teach her what she's failed to teach. Oh my god, and it's the worst because anytime somebody says this, Michel will not trust them. I mean, sure, fun for you, but will it be fun for Michel? Yeah, totally. Yep. And she's also said the part about her spending too much time with her brothers as well. Yeah, fair enough. Yep, I totally agree. Yeah, so she's not really interested in it, but she wants to do it so that she can spend more time with Amy. And maybe she will develop an interest while doing so. Yeah, let's hope that boy's a nice one and doesn't betray you or something. I mean, it's a nice idea, but yeah. Yeah, I'd be a bit concerned if she was there. Oh my god, so she's one of the people who have had an arranged marriage. That's tough. Jesus Christ. And to think about the fact that they actually have what looks like on the surface a really quite positive connection, that's the hard thing to believe. I mean, arranged marriages can work out, sure, but they can also be some of the most awful things possible as well. Must be very awful being a rich person in a situation like this. Yeah. Yeah, and he is actually a good man as well as obviously somebody that people, well, that her family would want to marry into. I mean, to be fair, Georges obviously seems like somebody who definitely doesn't really understand people. Sorry, doesn't really understand Michel. But at the same time, you could tell that he cared about her even if he didn't really understand. Obviously, Michel didn't really appreciate it, but still. Wait, what does that mean? A pleasure seeker? Okay. Wait, so is this sexual or what? Alright. Yeah, I suppose. So dedicated to a lifestyle dedicated to the egoistic pursuit of short-term gratification, and then an example is sex and drugs without consideration of the long-term consequences that could happen. Oh god. That's good. I mean, it doesn't really matter what Michel thinks in this case. Let's be honest. I mean, let's be honest. These people are brothers and sisters, so of course it would be awkward. You can't, that's the thing. It all depends on the personality and how they conduct themselves to you. I know, and it's interesting. You're just seeing Amy, obviously she's really quite nice. And she's pleasant to Michel, but at the same time she's just one of those people who have really accepted their role in society, and I bet you anything, if the more Michel hangs out with Amy, the more she's going to begin to accept her role. It's so bullshit that someone has a role like that, especially from a modern day perspective. Well, yeah. It could be, yeah. Ah, yes, my favourite man, Gazelle. So true. Yeah, and this is the worst thing, to think about the fact that women always have to find men. They shouldn't have to, but... It could be too soon, but it also could be the case that she just doesn't want to find anybody. I'm surprised she doesn't know. Oh god, that's not a good thing to say. Oh, looks rather than acting. Sorry, rather than how you act. Okay. Oh god. Oh my god. Wait, is... Yeah, I thought so. Now, this actually gives me a nice point. I don't think she's ever going to have, as she says, meat there. I think that's why she's considered possibly to be trans. And I think that's why they wouldn't have noticed it. When we saw the beginning of Michel's dialogue, we saw two unusual things about him that the parents might have or might not have accepted, and one of them was noticed later on than the red eyes, and maybe it could be this. Yeah, it's tricky. Yeah, I know, it is a bit unusual that she is really quite intimate. Yeah. Oh god, what? Oh my god, no! Oh god, that's awkward. No way is she actually going to play this off. Yeah, she's probably a little bit uncomfortable. She's putting up a big front. Jesus Christ. You so could have had this easy, Michel. Oh my god. Oh well. To be fair, I suppose at least Michel has a little bit of peace of mind in the sense that she is honestly conveying feelings, but in the way society is going, that is not... In the way society is going and the fact that she is engaged to Georges, that's not very good. Yeah, I suppose. Oh yeah, that's interesting how you can kind of play it off as kind of like a little greeting, or well, not really a greeting, but I don't know, just something to do that would normally be done to friends. Yeah. Oh god. But what if this person is possibly the one that you do love? She's definitely finding an excuse, let's be honest here. Yeah, this is where things get a little bit tricky. Yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Yep, yet another reason why she will persecute herself for her gender. Bit hard to picture, but oh my god, yeah, awkward. I mean, to be fair, she is quite literally in the house for quite a lot of the day. I suppose you get to walk around the house. It's not as bad as somebody who's just locked up in the house now would be, i.e. just constantly looking at a screen for like 90% of the day. Just, I don't know, that's proper stereotype, I know, but like, it could be worse is what I'm trying to say. But to be fair, I mean, a lot of people nowadays, they probably, if they had a full day at home doing no exercise, they'd probably just look at their screens rather than, I suppose, rather than having a need to do lots of walking. I just feel like Michel would have more need to walk because of you gaining less from sitting down, really. Oh god, that's shit. Yeah, fair enough. I bet you she's gonna see something. Bet you anything. Oh wow, I like the art. Yep, she's seen something. And let me guess, it's gonna be something related to Amy. Thought so. Oh god. Who's she talking to, Georges? Yeah, isn't it interesting? Oh god. Oh yeah, I know, yeah, because you're totally obsessed with her, let's be honest here. But at the same time, yeah, this has happened. But it is interesting to think about the fact that it's possible for Michel to be obsessed with a girl. I mean, it just shows that she instinctively defies all of the laws that are kind of imposed on women at the time. And it shows that if somebody is nice and kind to her and is beautiful, then of course she will fall for them. Even if they are a girl. And obviously we saw that with Gazelle too, I suppose. It was an accident, man! No, wait, hang on a second, it wasn't an accident. But it wasn't a full kiss, it's not like, I don't know, with tongues and stuff. But, yeah. Yeah, even though, well, no, I suppose there was an indication that this happened. Yeah. Yeah, she's locked up as well. I really do wonder why. And she doesn't really go much out of the house much either. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the case. Yeah. Yeah, I see that. I mean, it doesn't necessarily imply that. It's just that she's not going there because... Well, she may be going there because she cares about you, but she also has the motive of caring for Michel's mother. It doesn't necessarily mean that. Unfortunately, yeah. Yeah, it's totally reasonable. I find it interesting that even though she has a fiance, and even though she says that she was happy with said fiance, Michel is very unrealistically thinking that she may be yearning for her as well. Oh god. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Yeah, fair enough. You're just totally entranced by her. And then, as a result of that, she has been able to easily notice. Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. A bit tricky for Michel, this. Oh, yeah, that's if you want to attach a label to it. Sure. Oh, yeah, I get why. Because you have all of these feelings and you have everything that... all of this passion, and yet it's being called disgusting. And I think you could argue this. It's being labelled, and it's really, really being downplayed. Just because of the connotation said label has. And I don't know, I just feel like if I had loads of feelings for somebody and then it was just dismissed with just a simple label, like maybe that could add to just a feeling like it's a little bit less important. Sometimes when you have an issue and then somebody labels your issue, it just kind of feels like it's being demeaned because you obviously feel that it's so much more complicated and more in depth than what one word can simply describe. Oh god, that's tough, yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, sure, they were. I mean, I don't know, technically they weren't if Michel is trans, maybe? You can make that argument. I don't know. But, obviously, yeah, I suppose so. Oh god, yeah. Oh my god, this is odd. Who is this man? And why is it not Georges, which I thought it was? God. To be fair, that is very true. No fucking way! Is this the drunk? Oh no, 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 no. And understand that she's listening to your every word. Oh, right, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that makes more sense then. Yeah. I'm just happy it's not someone that would really betray her character. And I mean, I don't know, of course it couldn't be the drunk, because how would drunk know this much? It's not necessarily that, it's just... This is just a societal failure to understand that people may be entranced and obviously feel feelings like these to people that are not just men. It must have been an absolute nightmare being like this in this time. Yeah, it's tricky. Why are they there in the night? I mean, why are they there in the night? Obviously, why is it as if she is sneaking away from Georges? Yeah, that is a bit odd. Yeah, true. Yeah, and it's interesting. She's totally failing to see trust in a lot of these people now. True. That is a bit dodgy, I agree. But at the same time, though, it doesn't necessarily mean that this is probably the beginning of an affair. It could just, I mean, what I get the impression of this conversation as... I get the impression of this conversation being something that just shows them getting to know each other and talking about something serious. That it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic conversation. But still, why are they seeing each other without Georges knowing about it? That is odd, even if it isn't for romantic intent. If I'm going to be honest, I think she's really lucky she had these pains and wanted to walk outside because, oh my god. Yeah. It's better to know the truth. Yeah, oh my god. That must have. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. You're just yourself. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Yeah, she just totally... She's very impulsive, but I don't blame her, let's be honest here. Her emotions are just getting too overwhelming here. To be fair, I don't know if Didier being out there is something to be alarmed at or not. I don't know. I feel like we'll find out later. I hope we find out later. If only it was. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I really do wonder. I don't think he did. Isn't it interesting? Just you see Michel properly hiding this in and just wanting to display this meaningless sense of courage. I think it's ironic that there's all these stereotypes that Michel was kind of fighting against And yet at the same time, this is also something that she thinks. But yeah, that is fair. Oh god. Yeah, but the only thing is, I mean, if she's faked her smile this much and she's made it so that it's all an appearance, what are her true motives? What does she gain from being friendly with the mother? Let's be honest, probably some sort of status or wealth-related advantage. But also, you've got to think, if that smile was fake, what else was fake? Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah. Of course, the family gatherings may not have been real because they may not have been for a true relationship. Yeah, true. So I suppose, I mean, it's pointless. What's going to not cry do apart from just bottle your emotions up more? But at the same time, obviously, you would normally think that, but for Michel, I suppose it's being that little bit more stubborn. Yeah, and isn't it interesting Didier's kindness being possibly faked? Because I don't think it was faked at all. None of it was. But the only thing is obviously because of the fact that Didier has made it so that Michel couldn't get her way and has totally denied her dreams, I suppose. That's what the basis of that thought is. I suppose she's just properly filled with adrenaline, and I suppose she's just had so much stress that her body hasn't really been able to keep up. God, that's a nightmare. Crackling noises, how weird. What? God. I do wonder if Amy is going to come see her, and I do wonder if Michel is then going to tell her everything. I hope she does, because that... we're going to see Amy's true character then, I think. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, because I suppose there's such a lack of safety medically, so you don't fully know what's happening. And I do find it really interesting that Michel's mother really loves her, but Michel just can't see it because of the fact that Michel's mother forces her to live in a society that she doesn't want to. God, you can really tell. Yeah, totally reasonable. I'm happy that Michel sees that. Yeah, Michel really is an isolated person. Yeah, she's just so worried that she's trying to really reassure herself. God, it's surprising how bad Michel has been affected by this flu. I mean, I just don't really understand what could have caused it. I mean, obviously, extreme stress, let's be honest here, but can stress really cause somebody to be this ill? I mean, okay, sure, if it's the worst stress they have ever experienced in their life, and if they are physically weak, which Michel is, then maybe? I don't know. I mean, okay, if I had imagined that maybe this stress could have caused a lack of consideration for your personal, I don't know, personal looking after. Like, for example, not putting enough clothes on because you're too stressed, and you think about whatever you're stressed about over your own health. Maybe that could cause a flu, but there's not really much of that mentioned here. Oh god, I wonder what they're going to be. God. Yeah. It's unusual. Really? I'm surprised. God, yeah, I can imagine. I find this so weird. That's probably because of the fact that she's not well. And obviously the voice as well. Yeah, fair enough. But the only thing is your joints are really hurting. Oh god, I know, it is weird though. Yeah, I do wonder where this is going. Yeah, fair enough. But why are you only realising it now? Or is it just suddenly really, really dropped? Jesus Christ. Yeah. This is a very unusual plot, yeah. That does make sense though. It's just horrible to think about the fact that these people are rich, they have a reputation to uphold, so as a result of that, you see somebody who has something that is really quite unusual, the fact that they look like a girl and yet their voice is not that similar to a girl's voice. Yeah, and as a result of that, when, well, you need to protect your reputation and your own sanity by not letting people see them, with no consideration to just what that might do for somebody like Michel and how it might destroy them, just constantly being in the room. Yeah, fair enough. Obviously, if you called it a sickness in modern day times, you would definitely be proven wrong because it can be explained by science. The fact that it's not a sickness. And obviously, if you called it a sickness, you would definitely be not the most liked in society, let's just say. Yeah, sure thing. I think that the mother is just finding it harder and harder to accept Michel, and it's horrible because of the fact that you see the mother really loving Michel and obviously just feeling that care that any good mother would feel. But at the same time, I suppose, even that care is just gone into worry, and then she can't really be with Michel because she can't face said worry because of the fact that her kid is just turning into something that she doesn't even know anything about herself. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Nobody. Isn't that interesting? I mean, I'm not surprised about Amy, but the brothers as well? I mean, that's a proper surprise to me. And you're just locked up. It's just really unusual because you get the impression that there's something more to Michel than just simple pain in joints. I mean, I'm surprised that it hasn't gone by the time by the time her flu went. That's really weird. And I mean, I suppose Michel is a lot physically weaker now just because of the fact that she's not getting exercise, she's not getting an ability to walk around the place that, well, to have any of her nighttime walks. She's just locked up in here. I mean, what's the difference between your home and a prison? Oh, God. A woman rather than saying Amy. Have you forgotten what she looks like? I mean, isn't that a bit ridiculous? Right. Wait, do you mean like fully? What? Oh my god, yeah, that's going to be interesting. What? Why? Jesus Christ, she's been totally neglected. That's sick. But she's grown a lot in 6 months. Huh? Yeah, I can just definitely see her remaining feelings for Amy. Oh my god, 6 months. Nothing. No eye contact, no people, no love from your parents, nothing. God. Oh my god, this is an interesting CG. Yeah, Michelle's becoming the Michelle that we know more and more. Well, no wonder the skin lacks that. She's not been able to spend time outside. Yeah, fair enough. Oh my god, yeah, isn't that interesting? God. Yeah, you can really, really see it now. And look at this part of the body as well. And also, yeah, it looks, the collarbone looks more like what a man would have as well. He looks properly thin in this photo. Can I just mention, I wouldn't be surprised if he's malnourished. But my god, you can just totally see that. Such a sudden change. Yeah, something that would have always made sense, but yeah, something that obviously nobody is going to accept him for. I just find it interesting that when Michel's voice was of a kid, it sounded like it could realistically be passed off as a girl's, but obviously then it deepened and then it just gradually grown into a man's voice. It's weird how that worked. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. But what I also find surprising about all of this is oh, I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, of course Michel, well, it's just ironic to think about the fact that Michel admires men and obviously doesn't really want to fully be a girl, of course not. And then, ironic, he doesn't even realise it himself, but he's actually trans, so he is kind of a man, which is ironic just considering that so much of his life has been ruined without, just because of the fact that he hasn't had a realisation of this. And isn't it interesting, you really see people's true characters show. Unfortunately, you see the true characters of all of his brothers show because of their lack of ability to accept him, even though he's different. But to be fair, I do contradict myself a bit because there was still one brother who sent supplies off to Michel so that he could live his life when banished from the mansion. So there's obviously someone who has maybe seen pity in him or maybe accepted him, who knows. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh yeah. I see that dream with Amy in a little bit of an odd and suggestive state. I mean that does make sense when you think about the fact that it could be from a man's perspective. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. I think, to be honest, I think the only thing that is not male about about Michel is, like Maria said in chapter 3, what's between your legs? I think that's the only thing. Nothing else. I think that's the only thing that has falsely given people the assumption that Michel is a woman. God. Sadistic laughter. Yeah. I totally see that. But I mean, let's be honest, look at how much of a lack of socializing Michel has been exposed to just because of him being totally discriminated against. I mean, no wonder he's going a little bit insane. That's... Yeah, I don't blame him. I mean, how much of a fucking joke must your life feel like if you feel what Michel has felt? You just want to... You have admiration and you feel so sad that you can't be said gender, and then it just feels like the world is being cruel to you and it is laughing and mocking at you. It is mocking you. That's just the impression I get. God, so the locked room is really quite dark as well. Fucking hell. Oh, I think the light was metaphorical. Yeah. Yeah, reasonable, yeah. Yeah, and it just totally feels like he has broken free. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, you don't want to think that because obviously that gives bad connotations. Fair enough. God, look at his face. Yeah. And isn't it interesting to think that a lot of the people think that Michel's cursed, that he's a devil? Yeah, I wonder. You wrapped a sheet over your shoulders. What? What do you mean? Why would you need a sheet? True. Yeah. Yeah, you would think that's short term, but look at how your life is going to change as a result of this. This is not... I mean, it's society's fault, but it's also, I suppose, the fault of people there. Surely you would have thought that if people were really, really devoted to somebody, they would go against society. They would go against their morals just so that they can... Well, they would do anything so that they could be with said person. And obviously be happy with them and make them happy. But none of them have. It makes you question the validity of a lot of their love. Even the mothers. I suppose the mother just wanted a normal girl, and obviously she thought she had that, but then it just gradually declined. Hang on a sec. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, totally reasonable. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's horrible. Oh, I'm excited for this. Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah, and isn't it interesting that Michel and the mother are actually really quite similar, but obviously the mother wanted a normal girl. She thought she had one. She didn't, so she just completely stops loving her. And she's very stressed as a result of it. Yeah, it is interesting that. I just really do wonder why she's staying at home so much. But, I mean, I suppose her role as a housewife, people just instinctively discriminating against her. That could be a good reason. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Yeah. But the only thing is, I mean, that was a few months ago. Is she still doing it? But the only thing is, if she was still doing it, then why is she still engaged to Georges, let's just say? Yeah, Amy sounds very, very two-faced. I think she's there for the benefits the family give, rather than love. Very two-faced. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? So I suppose you just have this sense of family where people are just trying to compete to be the best. And obviously, just bragging, all of them, about, oh, how their lives are going so well, how they're doing so much to better themselves and the family. And it just feels like a competition. But it's all built on facade, and it's just unhealthy as well. There's no real... Well, I suppose they do have love for each other there, but then why is Michel so outcasted? Does that really show the characteristics of a family with real love? No, not at all. Oh, you barge open that fucking door and you disprove her. It is interesting, his change. I'll say that now, his change to perceptions of light as well. I was surprised about that. But I find it very interesting how Michel's perspective has totally changed. And for example, with Didier, she obviously saw real fascination with what he was doing, and obviously saw admiration. But then as life progressed, she just thought, well, she just saw her brother for who he really was. Yeah, but yeah, I wonder what's gonna happen. Dude, you are locking your daughter up because of the fact that she is not who you thought she was. No, 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 no. There's such a lack of understanding about this that it must have been perceived by these people as a curse, as sickness. And that could possibly lead into why people think that Michel's cursed. You were. You were listening to everything they were saying. She will never recover. If I'm going to be honest, I think Michel did genuinely have a flu. There was stress involved. And then joint pain. I think you could probably explain that through the lack of fatigue and maybe stress as well. But then, obviously, when the joint pain went, he was never sick. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, Michel's just totally barging in. Oh, fuck. I mean, we know this is not going to go well. If I'm going to be honest, I think it's really interesting that even though Michel was totally discriminated against him, everybody denies his existence. Well, sorry, denies who he is. And denies himself. Then, because of that, he takes more pride in himself because it's just rebellion, I suppose. Oh my god, of course she's surprised. Yeah, yeah. Who else read this and thought it said cursed? That's so ironic. I think they might have done that intentionally when doing the translation. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? God, isn't that interesting? Michel's changed so much that his father doesn't even recognise him. Oh my god, look at that. Yeah, you're just totally seeing Michel just realising how full of shit these people are and taking his revenge. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, totally reasonable. Oh, yeah, that's an interesting conclusion you can make. He was, though. Well, until he realised he wasn't. Oh my god. That's hilarious. But to be fair, I'm kind of having the wrong impression that there has been a lot of time that has passed. This is only 6 months, which is honestly really quite surprising. That Michel was changed this much. I would have thought his hair would have been longer. Yeah, and yeah, they're surprised when it's realised. He didn't even know himself. Oh my god, what? Ooh. She doesn't even know herself. Jesus Christ. You can really see people's true... It is interesting. You can really see people's true characteristics and personalities and obviously connections and just how much they value a person when you see they have a trait that could be easily discriminated against. And it is interesting. You really... It's like how you see a person's true personality in a crisis sometimes. Oh yeah, it's an interesting misunderstanding. I wonder what Michel's going to say. Yeah, she's not being very nice. Oh, he's totally using it against her. I hope the first thing Michel says, how's spending time with Didier going? Oh my god! Oh, this is so exciting because she doesn't know. Yeah, what a change. Jesus Christ! Wow, that really took a turn I wasn't expecting. Oh God! God. Yep. And then the one person that's vulnerable and who doesn't realise. And also the parents. Yeah. Totally. All because of you. All because of a few. How many lines did he say? 4, 5. Alright, so wait, let's actually count how many lines he said, why not? So 4, 5. I'm not counting that as a line. 7, 9. 9 lines, and one of them. Oh wait, hang on, 8. No. 8 lines. That's all we had to say. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Yeah, you possess. I meant provoke Michel. He will destroy you. Why? She. I know, I totally agree, yeah. But that's why she's so grief-stricken, because there's a lack of understanding for transgender-related things in this time, and also, well, she's really stressed. Forgot the other point I was going to make, to be honest. God, she's a total wreck. But the stress here has made her quite insane. You've got to fend for yourself. What a nice thing to say, yeah. Yeah. True. Oh, right. So, oh, I get it. So the sheet is the only item that Michel had of clothing. God. I suppose so, yeah. Yeah, that is reasonable. Because Michel's not fully a boy, but Michel is not fully a girl. And it is really interesting. If there was actual medical and societal understanding of people who were trans, then I really do wonder just what would have happened in a story like this. And how it would have been treated. But obviously, if there's something that a human being can't understand, put a curse on it. Yeah, that will just explain everything. Yeah. Use the supernatural because you can't find an explanation that fits human logic, I suppose. Says you. Isn't that... Hang on a second, isn't that... Oh, you stick up for yourself now. God, isn't it interesting that Michel's change has really, really enlightened him? And it has made him feel like he can conquer anything in the world. What's going to happen in a few months, though? Well, he's going to be banished to the mansion, but, like, still. Yeah. I admire Michel for doing this. Just standing up to the fakery. Even though it's going to achieve nothing, but just standing up to these people. To be fair, in a situation like this, it's probably better for your true feelings to be known than not. Well, yeah, sure, but at the same time, let's be honest, he's probably malnourished. He's probably very thin. Of course he would have visible muscles. True. he even has the Adam's apple. Oh my god. Yeah, fair enough. I think it's just funnier that Michelle was literally flashed in the middle of a family dinner. But I get that it's to prove a point, but still. Yeah, put some clothes on. Open your eyes. Shouldn't you go after her, maybe? If you're her quote-unquote husband? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, isn't that interesting? But surely the room has windows. Just break the windows and fuck off. Go away from this poisonous household. Never mind. That's sick. Yeah. It's terrifying. Holy fucking shit, this sounds unpleasant. Now it just sounds weird. I know, it's sick. She's meant to be your mother. Yeah, that's interesting. I just find it so sad to think about the fact that it's just the human way of explaining things that you don't understand with a curse. Because obviously there are so many more things that can be concluded incorrectly. Like, for example, I don't know, a spirit is possessing you. You are in a really bad situation. You're in danger, your whole family's in danger, stuff like that. Wrong conclusions that can be drawn from this. Also, this is a really interesting thing. So unusual. Oh, that must have been such a middle finger to him. But, yeah, isn't that interesting? Fair enough, yeah. Yeah, just because of the fact that your mother is completely deteriorating. Yeah, fair enough. It won't be broken, and it is not a curse. It's your lack of ability to accept that this person is not a girl. Fully. Not 100% a girl, I suppose. God, this track is so weird. I think she meant what is between your legs. You're not an abomination whatsoever, and you should never think that. It's the most sick thing. Nobody is going to come because you have such a lack of love and genuine feelings within this household. And then let me guess, somebody's just going to come and tell him. Maybe the servant? Who knows? Oh, what a middle finger. Isn't it interesting just the lack of ambiguity that this has, though? Because when Michel was a girl, he was what he thought he appeared to be. Oh my god. To be fair, she probably never has actually seen a man naked, and that's probably why. Well, he never has, but that's probably why, because he just wants to know why it's significant that she's different to any other man, really. No, that's not a joke. That's the worst thing. Yeah, he is. Technically, Michel is a member of the household, so the servant needs to follow orders from said member of the household, though, surely? No, not at all. True. Yeah. Isn't it interesting that he hesitates? It's just painful to think about the fact that you are a child of said family, which I don't blame him. Who would not want to? Who would not want to feel absolute hatred and disgust and sadness when in Michel's position? It must be horrible just having a body and then just having everybody around you not being able to accept you for who you are. And I think the most sick thing about all of this is just how Michel's kind of subconsciously letting all of this influence him. Amy is horrible, man. Seriously. Her true intents definitely lie elsewhere. God. It's the worst thing, yeah. Holy shit, he really is persisting. This is so unpleasant. I hope Amy walks in. Or just something ridiculous like that. Yeah, and that is interesting. It's a bit sociopathic, don't you think? Just making this person go through something that's very, very uncomfortable just so that you can have the knowledge of... Well, you can have the knowledge you need. Don't you think? I do wonder, you could definitely say that. But to be honest, it is interesting when you're discriminated against, because I do wonder if sociopathy could result from discrimination, because when you're discriminated against and you're like Michel, you want to hang on to yourself and you want to hang on to your identity and you want to protect it from the bullying of others. So that means what then happens is with other people you kind of view them less... how am I going to tie this together? You view other people less as no, you view other people as a challenge, and if you some will just be always able to overpower you, so if you can overpower other people, you will you won't take remorse in it, just because life will just feel like a power game. I wonder if you could argue that. Yeah, there is nothing there. I.e. pussy. Basically, stuff like that. Stuff related to that. Interesting that this is the case. No, of course not. Not at all. But then... yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, you said something wrong! Yeah. But how can you think... yeah, but you could also make the argument for... How can you think of, well... something that he has that a man doesn't have? How can you think that belongs to a man? So I suppose you could make the argument both ways. I don't think Michel looks like a girl. I mean, he looks like one of those people that you'd see, I don't know, in like a music store or something. Just really, really long hair. While being male as well, obviously. I don't know. I swear, I just see a lot of like people who are interested in retro stuff having that look. This is kind of what it reminds me of. Yeah. Because now you know why people discriminate against you. True. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's because of birth. Fair. Yeah, and you can totally see this when you look at Gazelle and Michel's conversation. Yeah, sure, Michel never undressed, but at the same time, Gazelle never even questioned it. Yeah, totally. Oh my god! Jesus Christ! God. No, wait, are you actually going to do this? I was laughing this off because I thought it was so ridiculous that it was never going to happen. Oh god. I hope this doesn't happen. It does kind of make sense though. But isn't it interesting just seeing Michel's total accumulation of rage? Yeah. Jesus, you need to fucking calm down. She. Oh. Yeah, fair enough, yeah. And now you were seeing the mistake of acting impulsively. I mean, he kind of had it coming to him, but my god, you can just totally see that. I mean, let's be honest, he is locked up, lack of light, lack of socialising. Of course he's going to feel like this, and of course he's going to be more unstable, and of course all of his insecurities are just going to be increased because of his awful living conditions, even though he is being fed and probably isn't subject to malnutrition. Sorry, well, malnourishment as well. God. Isn't it interesting that they despise him, but they also fear him? But that's because they think like Liddy does. Curse. Because the thing is, he is acting like this, but nobody is understanding him. Because she can't bear to see him. Yeah. It's sick. she can't say it at all. I won't say he's delirious, but... Well, no, I mean, in these times, of course he would have been considered delirious, but he acts too much on his impulses. Way too much. I don't think a sane person would act that much on their... No, actually, a sane person would if they were pushed really, really greatly. Yeah, totally. God, what a difference. How brutal. Yeah, oh my god, so he's just left to fucking starve? Are you telling me? Yeah, no, totally reasonable. Yeah, oh god, I can't imagine that. Yeah. Yeah. Reasonable. I know, it's sick. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, they're not going to help you. No way. I wish they would, but no. Nobody will. god, that's the worst. She's not cursed whatsoever. Let's be honest, any victim of being cursed was not cursed whatsoever. Bit ridiculous, but okay. I totally agree. I kind of get the impression that he's not. There aren't any Abigails there. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough, my god, I wonder who it is. Oh fuck, is this Amy? I think it might be. Oh my god. Look at her face, holy shit. What do you mean? Oh, I get it. So Amy's probably... So basically, her secret has been exposed as a result of that. She's tried to ruin the relationship between Michel and the mother, and also, obviously, by increasing the belief that he's cursed, and also probably just increasing the brutality that he's getting. Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Sure thing. You really think that this is a person that he should trust? But he's desperate. He would trust anybody. God, what a wreck. Oh, what? I think you should punch this person in the face. Yeah, fair enough. It is just instinct. Daughter. Yeah, that's not a good thing. Yeah, totally. You really need to fight for yourself if you can. Jesus, it was only just beginning. Yeah. Yeah, totally. What a psychopath. Yeah. Is it just total protest? Yeah, why are you doing this? God. Fair enough. Yeah, it doesn't. Will they now? Yeah, that's a tricky thing. Yeah. True. do it. Seriously. This person is so unbelievably nasty. Jesus Christ. What? Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. Oh, you fucking tell her. Yeah. Well, of course you are. If this is normal, then that's scary. Yeah. Well, is it the real you? Yeah, but that was a fake you, not the real you. Yes, you are. Yeah, I agree with Michelle. Yes. Yeah, fair enough. It is honestly surprising that she's still allowed here. I wish she wasn't. Oh dear. Says the person that is literally torturing him. Enough to torture somebody and be a complete sadist? Yes. He did. To be fair, that is actually true, but yeah. I can actually see what she's saying, but yeah, of course Michelle wouldn't want to accept that. But yeah, nothing justifies that. I totally agree. Yeah, true. Says you. And you're being a lot more subtle in how you were totally making him angry. You are yourself. Why does a label have to define you? Jesus Christ. Fair enough. Well, that just shows how two-faced she is. God. Yeah, that's good. Good that he's still maintaining himself. Yeah, do it. She'd be better off dead than alive. Surely the pot of food is hot, so what you do is you get the food and you throw it on her face. That's a good way to start. Surely? How? I think if you didn't, you would be weird. Yeah, I don't blame him whatsoever. Yeah. Yeah, give that horrible, horrible person pain she deserves. Just a fraction of the pain she has made you feel, I see that. Especially her blood. Oh yeah, you fucking hurt her, yeah. Yeah. Fair. Yeah. No, don't let go. What? Oh, okay. I thought that was going to imply... This was going to imply that, the body had forced Michel to let go. Luckily not, though. No, this bitch deserves every single bit of what she's getting. Seriously. I mean, I'd never really wish somebody murdering someone else, but I'm sorry, in a situation like this, you just don't have a choice. Ah, shit. Oh, yeah. fair enough. Jesus. Says you. Who wouldn't? Oh, that's cruel. I'm assuming these are going to be memories of Michel's brothers. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that was really, really unpleasant. Holy shit, Amy is a psychopath. Well, I'm sorry, there are some cases where you can kind of reason with why these people were like this, but Jesus Christ, not with this person. I mean, I'm sorry, but she is just nothing. Oh, shit. Sorry, hang on just a second. She is nothing but a psychopath, let's be honest here. God, that was so sick. What we're going to do tomorrow, because I kind of skimmed through that, just reread it, just take in everything. God. It's properly rough. Poor Michel. I just wonder how he was banished. Maybe he was banished because of the fact that Amy had convinced everybody that he was deranged and completely tarnished his image. And as a result of that, he has been... Well, he's gone to a mansion that is seemed to be cursed. God. Yeah, Michel really just is one of those characters where you just wish you could kind of go into the story and alter the events just so that he could be happy. Yeah, it's just... I mean, this is a properly rough and brutal story. It really is. At first, it was just an affair with Amy. And now it is some of the most psychotic and cruel treatment ever. Yeah, I mean, it's properly rough. It would be interesting to see how this develops, even though it is very, very cruel. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.